Um, Mama Rohina, kasi dito sa sinabi mo rito that tinawagan ka ni Presidente, former President Duterte, 5 a.m. in the morning. And during that time that you were with him, kayo lang ba dalawa?
No, Mr. Chair.
Sinong kasama nyo sa sasakyan?
Yeah, it's just the two of us, sir, Mr. Chair.
So, ikaw ang sumundo kay former President?
I have my vehicle kasi, so nag-drive ako papunta doon. And then sabi niya, sasakay na lang siya sa loob ng sasakyan.
So, you were driving the car?
Yes, sir.
And this is a usual thing for you to do with the former president when you were still the chief of police of Davao.
Hindi naman, Mr. Chair.
So, hindi siya regular na ginagawa nyo na sinusundo mo siya doon? Or, no? Kasi very unusual yung...
No, Mr. Chair, that was the first time that
First time to?
pinapunta ako doon. Yes.
At nagtaka ka rin dahil presidente na siya noon. President-elect na siya.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Taka
And
din
this
ako.
was May 2016. Hindi pa siya nag-oath.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And do you have some inkling on what you were going to talk about or wala naman?
Hindi ako nagtatanong kasi, Mr. Chair. I just complied with the instructions.
Bakit ka pinagkakatiwalaan ng former president? I was hindi naman confused, but suddenly parang lang nabibigla lang ako because you were denying your relationship with him, right? Even there are issues about you and the former president having a romantic relationship in accordance to what we have read doon sa mga issue that was tackled by Montulfo. You will be denying that you have a relationship with the former president?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
At yung pagtitiwala sa iyo, paano nag-start yung pagtitiwala? Kasi there must be something on it. That's the reason why he called you and he was with you. Ano yun?
Mr. Chair, kung titingnan mo kasi yung structure ng officer sa Davao City Police Office, I am the most senior female police officer. And then the first time that I reported also sa Davao City Police Office when he was the mayor and I was just a lieutenant during that time, it appears that I'm the first PNPA officer who was assigned in Davao City. I think it was his first time to encounter. I was only 23 years old during that time. So parang naging familiar din siya sa akin. And then when I work sa Davao City Police Office na mayor siya or naging vice mayor siya, perhaps siguro nakita niya rin yung how I work, Mr. Chair. Until eventually nung naging senior na po yung rank ko, as an admin officer, I would attend mga conferences and I am the only female officer present in the room and I used to be the spokesperson of the station commanders because nahiya sila magtanong.
So in other words, matagal kayong matagal kayong nagkasama sa trabaho. It's all about work.
Yes, Mr.
Walang
Chair.
something that niligawan ka niya o naging
To some, it would appear na parang nanligaw but for me, it's just naman po, just work, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
Dito kasi may binabangkit ka, no? Yung, well, kanina na-mention na yun, yung tatlong level, no? Yung patayan, tapos babayaran, tapos yung pondo doon sa plant operation. Kasi binanggit mo dito na mayroong pondo para sa plant operation. And the Congress is allotting funds for a Coplan. Meron tayong pondo sa Coplan eh.
Yes.
Why merong pang pondo na binibigay? Is this a separate fund aside from the Coplan that are being utilized by the station? Or it's all the same?
Yeah. Mr. Chair, in reality sa ground, wala naman talagang punto binibigay ang PNP sa Coplan. Yung mga Coplan lang na napupunduhan, national level yan kung meron man. But station level, pag magkandak ka ng mga simultaneous service of search warrant, iko-Coplan mo yan because you need the support of other agencies, you will deploy agents, you need money, and you need to pay your agents. So, gagawa ka ng Coplan, hindi po yan ina-approve ng PNP. So, ang ginagawa ng local police, they would go to the mayor and ask for funding ng Coplan. Ganyan po ang normal na nangyayari po sa ground, Mr. Chair. Hindi po yung pupuntahan ng provincial office o ng regional office.
So in other words, walang pondo na nilalaan sa bawat istasyon kapag nagkakaroon sila ng Coplan. At the PNP or the yung mag-ooperate ng Coplan have to source it out. No? So, yun ang sinasabi mo. So, sino si Muking? Kasi may sinabi ka dito, si a certain Muking contacted you. Is he Muking Espino?
Parang Espina. Yeah, it's a staff po ni, ano po yan, sa City Hall, sa office po ni Sir Bongo during that time.
Staff to ni Senator Bongo?
Yes po, during that time.
Anong pangalan niya?
Actually, I forgot, Mr. Chair, but she's known with that name, Muking.
Yan, and here, ano, no, may...
Espino.
Espina.
Espina or Espino.
Anyway,
It can be verified anyway,
siguro, Mr. Chairman, to give clarity, on this statement made by Rohina Garma, let's invite this Muking Espino, in the next hearing, no?
Okay.
And sige po, Mr. Chair.
Comsec, please take note and send invitation for our next Quadcom hearing.
Mr. Chairman,
And
I think that certain Muking is assigned during the time from Davao. Dinala po sa Malacanang. I think he's USEC doon sa PMS. Kindly check na lang, Comsec.
Would you know the complete and full name of
Ermina?
Muking?
Hindi. Hindi, pa-check na lang sa records sa PMS.
So we can check the records already. Comsec, please coordinate with the PMS and invite the name Muking.
And on number 12, binabanggit mo dito that you learned from Arthur Nasolis via phone that Leonardo had been summoned by the President and was instructed to proceed to Mandaya Hotel in Davao for a meeting. I think, Mr. Chairman, we need to really ask the PNP to look for Arthur Nasolis. What is the status of Arthur Nasolis with regards to this hearing, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, earlier we asked Colonel Cunanan, our liaison to the Philippine National Police, to coordinate with the new CIDG chief, General Torre, and help the committee locate SPO for Arthur Narsolis. He's very material in this investigation, and we need his testimony before this Quadcom. General Torre.
Mr. Chairman, was he cited in contempt already?
Was cited in contempt na.
He was already cited
Okay.
in contempt, and there was an order for his arrest.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Number 14, Rohina, you declined the invitation of Leonardo to join the task force. Kasi dito sinasabi mo, nag-create ng task force. So you declined. Why?
I don't have experience kasi wide experience with regards to that, Mr. Chair. And during that time, there was an instruction and we had a meeting in Davao. The President, Leonardo, Bongo, and I was there. I was called. There was a plan actually that I will join the PMS to handle the police and military matters. So, hindi ako talaga pwede din doon. But eventually, hindi naman din natuloy lahat ng plano and hindi din ako sumali as a staff sa Malacanang and hindi rin ako sumali po dun sa group. And then an order kasi was issued na rin sa akin to report sa CIDG after my schooling.
And what happened doon sa DPWH, you involve yung mga classmates mo, sila Bakay, Bilela, Grijaldo, Tuson, and Duenas.
Yes, Mr.
But
Chair.
there was no meeting at all in accordance with your...
Yes, sa amin po, walang pumasok. Kwentuhan lang talagang ano po, sir. Separate room po kasi kami. So, kami-kami lang po ang nag-usap, magka-classmate po.
And in accordance with your affidavit, number 19, after the courtesy call, which happened in DPWH, Leonardo informed me that the structure of the intended task force would undergo changes. Ano yung changes na yun?
Nung una po kasi, yung ginawa pong parang structure is masyadong, what do you call this? Very structured po siya talaga, na merong head, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, and maraming staff. So, ang nangyari po is na-change, naging simple na lang. Naging simple na meron ng in-charge, and then meron lang mag-handle ng mag-verify siguro, mag-document, and etc. So, hindi na siya tulad na may Luzon na task force, Visayas o Mindanao, which is
So nakita mo yung, yung
yun ang
structure na
plano.
yun? Nakita mo yung structure na yun?
Yung original structure, nakita ko po, sir, kasi nga ako po yung nag-arrange ng meeting para
Yeah.
i-discuss. Pero yung second na simple na, parang wala nang structure kasi parang in addition to your function, parang ganyan na lang po nangyari sa IDG. Ito yung task mo, ito yung task mo, ito yung
So,
tasking mo.
Kasi we have received a structure
that
that
is just
you have submitted to us.
That is how the flow looks lang po. It's a diagram but not the structure
Hindi ito
na
ang
sasabihin
pinaka-structure.
mo. No, it's just a diagram how communication
Flows.
Yes, Mr. Chair. It's just a communication flow actually.
Okay, from the top to the
Yeah, it
bottom
appeared-
level.
Yes, it would appear that
All right.
way.
So,
It's not a
just
structure.
wanted to inform the body that we have received a diagram of how the money flows, no?
The communication
The communication
flows,
and?
yes. And it would appear also the money would come and maglabas
So we
po.
will go with that, no? We will go with that. So, dito sa task force na to, sige, go ahead.
With the indulgence of Chairman Dan, kasi ganito to po yun, pagkaintindi ko, si Colonel Leonardo proposes a task force, pero masyadong mabigat, di ba? Too heavy, di ba?
Yes po.
Now, ang implementation ng war on drugs, ang ginawa na lang po per unit, per region, per province, per city, in which yung assignment of those trusted or quote-unquote war machine will be assigned individually. Tama po? Tapos, yung structure na yung diagram na pinakita mo, yun yung sistema ng reporting. Tama?
Yes po.
And
Yun lang
at the
po.
same time, yun yung diagram that the flow with regards to reporting and the reward system.
Yes, Mr.
Oh,
Chair.
so ang assignment, kasi kanina tinanong si Colonel Patay, who assigned you, etc., etc. So, Colonel Patay, actually, of course, manggagaling yun sa R1 o sa personnel dito. But Colonel Patay was assigned in QC in that situation na wala pong task force. Colonel Patay was handpicked to be assigned in CRPO and particularly in QC. Parang ganon, di ba? Yung specific na magiging daloy, Colonel Garma? Ma'am? Per assignment,
Sir,
per individual.
pakiulit, sir.
Hindi, ang sinasabi ko po, yung assignments of personnel or officers is based on the concentration of drugs, no? At the same time, wala pong task force dahil individual lang assignment ng bawat trusted individual that should implement such Davao model. Ika nga.
I'm not too familiar po kung ganun ang lahat ng setup, but to some, nangyayari po yon. To some po naman po, dala-dala sila ng PD, dala-dala din po sila ng RD.
Of course, I understand.
Yes, sir.
If the PD is part of the selected people that will be implementing such directive, di ba? Yung war on drugs, tama?
Lahat po kasi required na mag-implement.
Kaya nga, pero ang ibig ko sabihin,
Yes, sir.
for example, si Juan de la Cruz is in Negros o Bacolod City. Pag nandun yung bolto no, ng drug transactions and activities, kung si Juan de la Cruz is now the city director of that city, maintain siya, di ba? But in the case of Colonel Patay, for example, kasi ganito na lang po, nandito naman lahat, no, sila, except for Colonel Bilina. Dito na po, si Marcos nandito rin. Ito, ano na lang tayo dito, kasi you cannot lie the data and the records in your assignment. Example, Colonel Patay,
Mr.
in your
Chair.
case, 2017,
Yes, Mr. Chair.
you were assigned here. O, sinong bit sa'yo? Who is the QCPD at the time?
General Elisar, Mr. Chair.
General Lizar.
Elisar, Mr. Chair.
O during your time as junior officer, do you have any assignments under Elisar?
None, Mr. Chair.
O none? O kita mo? You were assigned here not because you were brought or asked by General Elisar. You were brought here to implement this project. Ganon po, kahit yung Colonel Marcos. Well, in fact, Colonel Marcos, yung Colonel Laraga was demoted in that operation, but he was just suspended for 4 months. Di ba? Ikaw, Colonel Pitalio, o saan ka na-assign na maraming namatay? Di ba you were assigned Laguna?
Mr. Chair, binyan po ako siya noon.
O, Binyan. Laguna nga.
Yes, sir, Laguna.
O, then you were assigned in Rizal. Tama?
Kainta, sir.
Oo. Ang request ko lang dito, nandito kasi lahat na records nyo eh. Tapos magkatugma doon sa nangyari, napatayan, yung mga namamatay. Kaya I also understand that during the time, yung basic na instinct ng isang opisyal is promotion, of course some perks, or else, i-assign ka doon sa malalayo, or worst is, kakasuhan ka. And that happens. I have now the records. Lahat po, kahit yung kaklase nyo, kaya nga sabi ko nung nakaraan, 96, 97, marami pong magagaling dyan. Marami. Maraming magagaling. But of course, some of you were forced during that time. Naintindihan ko yun. Naintindihan ko yun. But of course, you cannot lie because we have all your assignments and all the deaths happen in your assignment. But sabi ko na nga, you are forced to do it because or else, yung isa nyo kanyang kaklase o underclass nyo yung isa, he was dismissed because of, alam mo, no? Yung pota. O, ginawa siya ng problema. It turned out ngayon, yung motion niya, motion for reconsideration niya, was considered. Kasi, ang basis is all about the quota. Ayun yung sinasabi ko. At least, ako, ang sinasabi ko lang, alam na po namin lahat. Lalo na po ngayon si Ma'am Garma has already issued his affidavit. Mayroon pa po. I hope you understand. And don't force us to cite it in contempt. Kasi, ano na ngayon dito? Punong-puno na po. Ako sinasabi ko, naintindihan ko kayo during the time. But this time, we don't want this to happen again, even in the next administration. Whoever sits in Malacanang. And I ask you to help us. Because this is not for me, this is not for the Quadcom, this is not for the House of Congress, this is for the people of this country. Yun lang po. Sana po you cooperate and you execute your affidavit so that we can now end this interpellation. Kasi darating din tayo doon. Sabi nga ni Chairman Akop nung nakaraan, aabot din tayo doon. Yeah. Anyway, Mr. Chairman, I hope yung mga nandito, and don't you know, kahit si Colonel Tam Tucson wala dito, papatawag din siya. Kasi kayo lang nabanggit nung nakaraan. Kaya sinasabi na namin, kung hindi nyo pwedeng sabihin in open hearing, you execute voluntarily. yung affidavit. Kasi ganun din po, lalabas at lalabas din. For now, Mr. Chairman, that's all. I hope the gentleman in the PNP understand my position and my statement, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman Paduano. Continue,
Okay. All right.
please continue,
Can you
Congressman
kindly
Fernandez.
show the diagram? I just wanted to be clarified on something. Because Ma'am Rohina, Miss Rohina Garma, no? Ito yung binigay mo. Did you do this diagram? Ikaw yung gumawa ng diagram. Itong diagram na nakita namin dito that you have submitted, yeah, parang
As far as I just simplified
yeah.
my affidavit in a
O kasi
more
dito sa ano mo,
way
I
po.
was trying to look at your affidavit. At sa affidavit mo, sa page 3, number 25, minention mo dito si Peter Parungo.
Yes po,
Si
Mr.
Peter
Chair.
Parungo, na binanggit mo dito, ang sinasabi mo, one task force beginning operation. I later learned that all Copland funds, the fund for operational expenses and rewards for agents were processed through the bank accounts of Peter Parungo at Metrobank, BDO, and PS Bank. So, ibig sabihin, itong Peter Parungo, pag titignan mo yung diagram, hindi ko siya makita doon. So, can you kindly explain where this Peter Parungo and who is Peter Parungo? Yes, at ano yung kanyang role? Siya ba'y tumatanggap ng pera? Kanino nang gagaling ang pera? Kano binibigay ang pera? Can you kindly tell us?
Yeah, the one in green po, Peter Parungo, Pedro, known as Pedro po.
Yun nasa kulay green na sa kaliwa,
Yes po.
yun ang Peter Parungo.
Yes.
At na nanggagaling ang instruction at ang pera doon kay alias Muking.
Mr. Chair, that is how Pedro described it to me when one time I was at CIDG and parang nagkaambot ng ulo, sir. Sabi ko,
Ano sabi niya?
Sabi ko, uy, bakit? Naku, ma'am, baka ma-amlak na ako. Kasi every week, malalaking amount na pumapasok. Saan? Sa bangko, ma'am. Metrobank, ganyan. Balak na nga mag-open pa nga na ibang bank. Tapos sabi ko, di mahirap yan pag ganyan. Ginanyan ko siya. Kasi nahirapan na siya kasi nga sobrang dami na pumapasok. Yun ang reklamo niya na kamot ulo palabas ng opisina that time. And I was just outside the office. I asked him kung bakit ganun ang behavior niya eh. That's where I learned na siya pala ang pinupuntahan ng pera.
So, sinabi niya na si Yusek Muking, SP na o SP,
nagsabi
no?
siya, sabi niya.
Ang naglalagay
kay
ng pera.
Muking, kasi po, yun ang instruction sa kanya.
So, Mr. Chairman, I think this Pedro Parungo is so crucial that we need to invite him as well. At nakalagay dito sa alias Pedro, CIDG 11 personnel in charge in the deposit and payment of money coming from alias Muking from PMS who in charge in releasing of money. Binanggit ba sa iyo na kung saan nanggaling yung pera ni Muking?
Wala po. Si Pedro, yun lang po ang sinabi. Actually, hindi po personnel po ng CIDG si Pedro. Parang trustee lang po during that time.
So si Pedro Muking
Hindi po siya organic.
Si Pedro
personnel.
Parungo, hindi siya PNP personnel.
Hindi rin po siya NUP. Hindi
Ito
din
yung
po.
may kaso ng rape.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Correct? Yes. Okay. With that, Mr. Chairman, I reiterate my request, no? And to invite this person, Peter Parungo.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Congressman Acop, with the indulgence
before we
of
leave
Congressman
Mr.
Fernandez.
Parungo,
Yes.
ang may tao kay Peter Parungo ay si Colonel Leonardo.
Opo, Mr. Chair.
Pero palaging nandun siya sa PCSO, di ba?
Hindi po, Mr. Chair. Hindi po palagi. I think, alam ko na po kung ano yung next question. Actually, noong 2019, when I assumed as PCSO, nag-wrap up na po yung war on drugs. I think tatanggalin na siya kasi wala na siyang role. And then nakiusap po na baka pwede ma'am magtrabaho na lang ako with PCSO kasi wala na akong tasking or whatever. Sabi niya, o sige, sabi ko, I need liaison in Davao. Kasi sa mga relief goods operation, we will distribute and etc. So, I hired him, Mr. Chair, kasi wala na siyang work.
Kaya nga,
Kasi
but before
wala na
that,
po.
nagtatrabaho siya kay Colonel Leonardo.
Yes, sir, kasi nasa CIDG talaga siya,
Oo nga.
Mr. Chair. Yes po.
Kumbaga sa kwan, kasi ugali ng mga opisyal, meron silang ano na tawag doon sa opisyal na parang handyman, inuutusan nila palagi. Di ba? Oh, hindi may tawag sila eh. Kalimutan ko na lang.
Runner.
Ha?
Striker.
Oh, yes.
Yes, sir.
Maski lahat ng opisina dyan sa Krami, meron ding striker. So, striker si Peter Parungo. Pero, kung ipapahanap natin sa AMLAC yung bank or financial transaction doon sa 3 bangko na binabanggit, malaki yung pera doon. Thank you, Honorable
That is
Fernandez.
educational, Chairman Acop. So, Ma'am Rohina, binanggit mo rin dito si Romel Bactat, si Rodel Serbo, si Michael Palma, at yun na nga, si Peter Parungo, were charged with the task of collecting and verifying information provided by police officers in the field concerning arrests or deaths of individuals named in the list of drug personalities and creating a summary report. All of these reports would then been encoded and compiled by Lester Berganyo. The compilation is thereafter elevated to Leonardo, who will decide what level the arrest or killing was and its corresponding reward. Is this correct? Papidabit mo to eh.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Ang dalawa kasi po yung report na pumapasok po is yung report na mayroon ng encounter sa ground and yung report po ng mga receive intel report for validation, for confirmation, or para establish kung anong level for encoding po or listing sa list.
At
So,
paano-
dalawa po yung report na pumapasok. Yung namatay at saka yung for listing and for verification and validation po.
Paano mo naman nakilala si Romel Bactat, si Rodel Serbo, si Michael Palma, and Peter Barungo?
These are all organic personnel of CIDG 11 and I work with CIDG 11 noon. Nandun na rin sila and ito po yung mga tao ni Sir talaga.
So itong tatlo, nakasagay din dito, si Romel Bactat, Rodel Serbo, Michael Palma are former policemen.
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman, in that case, Mr. Chairman, I move that we invite also Romel Bactat, Rodel Serbo, Michael Palma, and of course, yan nga po, si Peter Barungo. Ito po yung task force. Sila ang task force.
Wala pong task force, Mr. Chair. Ang nangyari lang po is naging depository of information, data, validation of reports, yung CIDG 11.
Sila yung operatives.
Yeah, to maintain the list, to ganun po ang role nila. Sila yung dedicated, in addition to their job, dedicated po to handle.
And binanggit mo rin dito sa 26, matatapos na tayo, si Leonardo conducted briefings for PIDEA, IG, regional directors, and PNP chiefs. PNP chiefs?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Mga incoming po.
Siya ang nag-conduct ng briefing?
Yes po, Mr. Chair. Meron po kasing extensive research po ginawa si Sir. Meron po yung confidential na book na yan po yung ginagamit niya to brief po mga RDs, R2s, Chief PNPs, incoming Chief PNPs po, para ma-appraise po sila kung ano po yung present drug situation and operation sa bansa po.
Okay. Do you have knowledge kung sino yung mga na-brief niya sa PIDEA, sa IG, doon na lang sa PIDEA, sino yung mga na-brief ni,
Mr. Chair, I think sa record makikita naman po natin kung sino po yung mga umupo na mga directors during that time. I cannot actually
Alright.
memorize it po, sir.
Sige, thank you. Do you have also knowledge about those other personalities who have been killed on the war on drugs? Like big personalities that you know about?
Yes, Mr. Chair, it was a public knowledge. It was in the newspaper, like the couple na Odikta, di ba, namatay po yun. Mayor Halili,
Ano
may
yung
mga
kay Mayor
mayors,
sa Calabarzon yan? Tony Halili?
Region 4A.
Yes, anong
Halili.
alam mo sa pagkamatay ni Tony Halili?
He was shot during the flag raising ceremony.
Yes,
and
yes,
says
it was reported.
Sniper po.
So, what do you know about the...
Chismis lang kasi, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
And I think imported. Kasi during that time po sa war on drugs, pwede pong tumawid yung mga operatives.
So wala kang direct knowledge about it?
Um,
Wala kang direct knowledge about it?
pinagmalaki kasi ng isa, sir, na sila.
Sino yung nagmalaking yun?
Major Albotra, Mr. Chair.
Major
Albotra of Region 7.
Albotra?
Yes,
Of Region
pinagmalaki-
7?
Yes po. Ano pangalan ni Albotra?
Major Albotra ng Region
Colonel,
7.
Lieutenant Colonel nata. Yes, pinagmalaki niya sa akin noon. Oh, talaga, sabi ko, how did you do it? So, mga kilala niya, mga kasama niya.
At sila ang nagpapatay kay Tony Halili?
He said he's in the team, Mr. Chair.
So, it's a team that killed Mayor Tony Halili. So, it was
According to
really
him.
a planned,
According to him, Mr. Chair.
according to
During
Major...
that time kasi, Mr. Chair, kung meron ng grapevine, like it would appear na it is a operation, nagkakaroon ng code of silence. It's real talk, Mr. Chair. Sa PNP, tahimik na. Matatakot na yung iba, matatakot na rin. Even RDs would say na, oh, trabaho yan. Oh, huwag mong trabaho. They will just call you and then it became a culture. Minsan i-process kasi mag-intervene ang NBI, mas nakakatuwa nga kung NBI kasi talagang mas maganda pag ganun. Kaya during my time sa CIDG, nasa Cebu City Police ako, tuwang-tuwa ako pag NBI talaga mag-handle. Kasi definitely, magiging maayos po. That is why, sinasabi ko palagi, gusto ko nagka-hands off after the processing ng crime scene ng crime lab. Pag sinabi na victim na they want NBI, binibigay ko po. That's the reality on the ground, Mr. Chair. You can ask mga ground commanders and chief of police.
So, again, Mr. Chairman, I would like to reiterate the name of Major
Lieutenant Colonel Albotra na ata.
Albotra. Kenneth Albotra to be invited in the next hearing.
Comsec, please take note.
With that, Mr. Chairman, with a heavy heart, I yield back for the meantime.
Okay, thank you, Congressman Fernandez. May tanong lang ko kay Colonel Marcos. Colonel Marcos, yung bang prior to your assignment sa Region 8, saan, you're the regional, what do you call that? Anong position niya, no?
Regional
Chief ng CIDG sa Region 8.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Prior to that, anong assignment mo?
Deputy Provincial Director po of Leyte PPO, sir.
So sa PPO ka dati.
Opo, sir.
And then eventually, nung after 2016, napunta ka sa CIDG as Regional Chief.
By July, sir.
July of 2016.
Yes, sir.
Kanina kasi nabanggit ni Colonel Garma na ang tinatanong ko kasi, paano ba nagkakaroon ng assignment? No, halimbawa, in example ko kasi kanina, si Colonel Patay, from Davao del Norte, nailipat siya dito sa Quezon City. So, ang sagot sa akin ni Colonel Garma, mayroong mga nagbo-volunteer. Example daw niya, kagaya mo, nag-volunteer ka dyan sa Region 8 because kaya mo raw mag-deliver. And in the lingo of the members of the PNP, nagkakaintindihan kayo pagka pinag-usapan yung deliver. Tama ba yun? Is it safe to assume na yung sinasabing deliver yung merong mga drug personalities na may execute ninyo?
Bali po sir, yung ibig sabihin ng linggo ng deliver sa amin is pag kinuha ka sir na nilagay ka sa isang post na operating unit, you know how to operate sir. Marunong kang kumaga, you can perform the performance of an operating unit. Parang ganun sir.
So it doesn't have anything to do with killing.
Hindi naman po sa pagkaintindi ko ganun sir. Kasi hindi pa ako na-assign ng CIDG ever since in my career. Kaya nung sinabi na kung willing ako ma-assign ng CIDG, nag-oo po ako sir.
Pero totoo ba na nag-volunteer ka? Na mapwesto ka dyan as regional chief kasi you can deliver. Totoo ba yan?
Sinutan ako sir ng order. Bali yun pong ang nangyayari po kasi noon is nangyayari naman po yan ng shoot order. Ang normal process po kasi sa PNP is you seek for an accommodation, then you seek for an availability. Ang nangyayari po sa akin is shoot order po. Marami po kami na-shootan ng order because it was a transition, sir. Nangyayari naman po yan sa transition of government. Pag bago po yung leadership, minsan, yung mga gusto nilang ipwesto, pwesto po nila.
Were you ever assigned outside of Region 8? Saan ka ba na-assign dati?
I was assigned, sir, in Malacanang as PSD member during President Ramos' time. Then after that, I was assigned with Region 8 as company commander. Then I was assigned with Region 7. Then I was assigned, sir, in DPRM, NHQ. Then I was assigned with NCRPO, Manila Police. Then I went back, sir, to Region 8 on my hometown after my OSEC. Yun po yung mga assignment ko, sir.
Mr. Chair,
So,
pwede bang
yeah, please, Congressman Akop.
na-assign ka sa Malacanang
Yes, sir.
after graduation?